Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Taylor Redish and this is Rainy, and I'm going to be doing my final video case study, second video case study on her. She's about 12 years old. She's a quarter horse, and the complaint with Rainy is that she's too fast. She's supposed to be in a hunter jumper lesson program, but I'm working with her and training her, and she is too fast. When you get on her, she starts marching as fast as she can, and she just wants to trot. She doesn't even want to trot, she just wants to canter around the ring the whole time. I think this would be a good, I think this case study would be good for her to see if we can rule out any physical pain that she might be running away from. The saddle does fit her. We've had it checked, and her bridle fits her, and we've tried different bits, and I found that when I'm riding her, keeping her on a loose rein, and when my advanced riders or later intermediate riders ride her, their instinct is to pull and hold her back. But so that's why we've taken her out of lessons, and we've been working on just redirecting her energy instead of holding it back. So she's much better when we do that, but it's good to make sure she's coming in the camera, that she's not running away from any pain, and something's bothering her, so she feels the need to go faster, or if she feels unbalanced or whatever. So I think this will be a good case study for her, and if anything, I think she has a lot of anxiety, so I think having a massage done on her, which she's never had before that I know of, will be good for her, because it'll help her relax. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to start with the movement section of this case study. For the camera. And I try to stay out of her way when I'm leading towards the camera, because I don't want my body to be in the way. So now I'm going to trot away with her. Make sure we're in the camera. So for Rainy's movement, at the walk and trot, she looked okay. She definitely doesn't look lame by any means. Her head was bobbing appropriately for the walk and the trot, and she had an even tempo. When I was watching the video, I counted her steps and made sure that it was 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, not 1, 2, 1, 2, and changing the tempo of it, everything seemed even to me. Her shoulders looked free. She wasn't scuffing the ground or landing on her toes or anything like that. She was tracking up well. Of course, when I had trouble getting her trotting in the beginning, it looked like she was tracking up short, but then when I took her the other way, she was tracking much better because she had the chance to actually begin the real trot and stretch out. I slowed it down and looked at her hoof, her hind end connect to the front, where the front foot landed, and it looked like she was tracking well. When walking away, it looked like her hips were dropping evenly. She's trying to knock over the camera. So that looked good. Quit. And also when she was walking away too, she's still hitting the camera. Her hind end, I did have her on a slight curve when I was walking her. I felt that when I was leading her out. But her hind end her hind legs weren't swinging outwards. They were tracking as straight to her front end. So I think that overall she looked pretty good in her movement. Okay, so now I'm going to check out her range of motion. I have treats to help her with the range of motion with her neck. So hopefully she understands this. Just gonna try and ask her to. Same thing on the other side. So I think her left side is a little bit better than her right. She seemed to be able to stretch further back towards her ribs on her left side than her right. I'll try it one more time just to double check. She might also be stiff. She hasn't really done anything in a couple days. Sometimes she was struggling more. She really has to kind of reach back at those last couple of inches to kind of stretch to get to her ribs, instead of just comfortably going there. I'm gonna do the other side one more time. She understands what I'm asking now. Good. So that side was better. So I think maybe now that she understands what I want, I'm gonna ask one more time on this side, and then I'll give her the treat. So actually, after doing that a couple times again, it seems like she has to make that final reach on the left side versus the right side. She actually doesn't have to make that reach. So I'm gonna make a note of that in a minute. And at the end of the session, I'll check that again and see how she feels. So I'm gonna do her range of motion. Starting with her knee. So her knee looks pretty good, and her fetlock feels good too. Feel her shoulder. Her shoulder is nice and springy. Good. She probably thinks I have more treats, but I don't. Check the hind end. I have checked the hind end for her before, and she's pretty uncomfortable with it, so I'm just going to go slow and take my time and try not to get kicked. Her fetlock feels good. I'm just going to give her a minute to relax, and she's, uncomfortable with me holding her leg for an extended amount of time and moving around. I'm going to try a couple more times and see if I can pick it up this direction to get her to allow me to check her hock and hip. She doesn't like me. She doesn't like me pushing on her hock very much. I'm gonna ask for one this way to see if I can feel her stifle at all and see how it feels. Okay, so now I'm going to check her left side, starting with her fetlock, which feels the same as the other side, and her knee feels good. It has full range of motion. And her shoulder is just as springy as the other side is. And then going back to her hind end on her left side, just waiting for her to be comfortable with me holding her back leg, checking her fetlock, which feels good. I'm just gonna wait till she's comfortable with me picking it up the other way. Just hang out here for a second before I press on her hock, which she didn't like last time, so I'm just gonna take my time. Good. And that felt fine. She obviously doesn't feel comfortable with me, but it feels okay. The last thing I'm gonna check is her stifle. I'm gonna ask for her leg again. Okay, now I'm going to start with the palpation of the stress points on her left side. I'm going to start with her TMJ. See if you can see in the camera. She seems a little uncomfortable. She's leaning away from me a little bit, but it's nothing too crazy. And I'm going to get her to click and chew so I can feel for any clicking. And it feels fine, no clicking. I'm gonna go ahead and check the TMJ on the other side. And same kind of thing, she's kind of moving away from me a little bit. So I'll make a note of that. Chew to check for clicking, and there's no clicking. So now I'm going to check the stress points on her muscles on the left side of her body, starting with the splenius and rectus capitis stress points. She doesn't have anything for you. Down to her trapezius and rhomboid stress points. Down to her upper triceps at me, like she doesn't like it. Brachiocephalic stress point, rhomboid stress point. She's trying to nip me, which she never does. So she's definitely not comfortable with me in her shoulder. I'm gonna try her pectoral muscle. So you can see. I'm gonna go the girth area. The very end of her pectoral muscle. And I'm going to go to the spinalis. You're not getting anything. The spinalis stress point and the longissimus dorsi. I'm going to move the camera so you can see a little bit better because she thinks she's going to get hay, so should be good. Spinalis stress point, longissimus dorsi, and I'm just going to check the rest of her back. Her back seems fine. Her saddle does fit her. check our intercostal stress point. She has a 9. She's got a couple of cuts right there. See, when I move towards her shoulder or triceps, she's not happy with me. It's okay. So right here, right behind her elbow, she seems pretty sensitive. Gonna check her hind end. Okay. Everything seems to feel okay in her hind end on her left side. She didn't have any skin twitching or negative reactions or pinning her ears or anything like that. And she didn't try to come and bite me or kick me. Okay, now I'm gonna check the right side of her. Starting with her splenius and rectus capitis stress point and moving my way down to her brachiocephalic stress point. Trapezius and rhomboid. See, it's same reaction on this side as the other side. This omohyoid and brachiocephalic stress point, she's not happy with. She's trying to bite me when I come near the omohyoid stress point and move down towards her pectorals. It's okay. So we'll definitely have to work on that region and just getting her comfortable because she never bites, ever. So clearly she's uncomfortable with me doing this, especially on the left, more so on the left side than the right. She's more reactive. I'm just gonna palpate her stress, her chest, which she's not happy with. So I'm gonna give her a little break and just move to a different area. I'm gonna go to her triceps and see if she has the same reaction. Making sure you can still see me. Her lower triceps. She's moving away from me still, especially when I'm in the girth area. Not happy with me. Okay, so I'm gonna move to her back, give her a break. So I'm gonna check these stress points first. So she's not happy with me basically here. So I'm gonna check her spinalis and her longissimus dorsi, and I'm gonna check the rest of her back. Intercostal stress point. I'm going to see if I can move her over for the hind end. And there are lots of sirens in the background, so hopefully you can still hear me. So the gluteomeo stress point. Junction of the gluteus. biceps femoris. And the belly of the biceps. There's also people getting food, so she thinks that she's getting fed right now, but she's not. So, and check semitendinosus. Her hind end on this side feels okay too. She was moving around when people were moving. The feed room is right there, so when people are moving feed in the feed room, she's walking forward to check it out. So I can kind of tell the difference of when she's like saying I'm not okay with this and I want my food. So for the review of the stress points, they're also introducing new horses together in the background, so there's kind of a lot going on. It's a bad day for this. But overall review of the stress points is that she's clearly, her shoulder is very sensitive. Her pectoral muscles are sensitive. Just her triceps are sensitive. And so that's where I'm going to spend most of my time working on her today. I'm going to start with a Swedish massage just to warm her up and get her used to it. She's never had a massage before, so that might be part of the reason why she's so irritated with me poking her. So we're going to start with the Swedish and then go from there. I'll do some petrissage on those irritated stress points. And as I'm doing the Swedish massage, I'm going to continue looking for other stress points that might be irritated, like in her hind end or other places. I'm actually going to start with the TMJ massage first on both sides. She wasn't super irritated when I palpated her there, but she had enough irritation for me to do a massage, I think. So I'm going to start with that first, and then I'll do the effleurage on her body. So I'm going to start with the left side first, making sure you can see. I'm going to start by doing effleurage strokes in that area. And then just C strokes on our TMJ. And I found that myofascial release works the best on TMJs. So if I find the spot that she's irritated and stretch the skin with compression and move the fascia away from each other with just these 3 fingers, they typically have releases. And I'm just draining this area. Myofascial release, and I'm taking these 3 fingers and compressing the fascia upwards away from its normal, where it normally sits, just gently, and waiting for a release. thinking about a release? Her lip is starting to quiver and she's taking deep breaths and starting to relax. Now she finally has a release. I'm going to do some effleurage strokes to just drain the area after the release. And I'm going to move to the other side of the TMJ. So same thing, I'm going to start with some effleurage strokes to warm up the area before I do the myofascial release. I'm going to do some C strokes on her TMJ very gently. And I'm going to go in with the myofascial release, and same thing before, take these 3 fingers and just move the fascia upwards, out of place so it can unwind. And wait for a release. She might be more reactive on this side than the other side. Can you make her walk more? Yeah. There we go. That's good. Thank you. I'm going to switch hands and make this rope a little bit longer for her so she can drop her head. if she's having a release. Not a big one. I'll wait a little bit more and then I'll do some effleurage strokes to drain the area. I'm going to drain this area out a little bit. She's licking and chewing again. Good. So now I'm going to move to the Swedish massage to get her entire body to relax, and then I'll move into the triceps shoulder region to get her shoulders loosened up, and then I'll walk her afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Swedish massage. I'm going to do effleurage strokes across her entire body. Muscle squeezing on her crest. Some ear rotations. This is the part where she's irritated. So we'll see how she does with the effleurage strokes. I'm just spending extra time on her triceps and thoracic area since she's more sensitive. Those deep pectoral muscles. She's looking at me all, yeah, she doesn't like that. So I'll just go very light, see if I can get her to relax. Keeping one hand on her hind leg at all times in case she were to try to kick me. I'm not taking anything off. I'm just doing one hand at a time so I have some sort of stable control over her leg at all times. So I'm putting my face right here, so just keeping. And I'll do her tail rotations after I've done the other side. I'm gonna move the camera. Okay, so I'm gonna do the Swedish massage now on this side or left side, starting with the effleurage strokes. Not happy with the pectoral muscles again on this side. Make sure you can still see her. Or the triceps. Do muscle squeezing on her press. do irritations on this side. I don't think she's ever had her tail stretched, so I'm only gonna hold for about 5 to 10 seconds instead of 30. Very gently pulling because she started to kick, so hardly pulling at all. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the petrissage on her shoulders and her pecs. But I'm gonna do a little bit more effleurage on this side first, just to warm her back up. And normally I would be following her around wherever she goes and moving with her, but because of the camera, I'm trying to keep her in one place. So I'm just going to do some C strokes to find those problem areas where she's very reactive. I'm just going to move all around her tricep. So right here, she's not happy. So I'm going to do some tapping right here, so she doesn't try to bite me anymore. And just keep tapping until she kind of gets comfortable with the area. Some effleurage strokes, and I'm going to try again with the C strokes to see if I can release any of this tension here. Hard to stay in one spot. Back to this area. Her lip is starting to quiver a little bit, her bottom lip. I'm going to do some kneading. She's not trying to bite me, which she might in a minute. I might do some more tapping. Kneading all around her upper and lower triceps. find the spot that bothers her the most. Seems to be okay. Go back to her triceps. There's a release right there. So I'm just alternating between kneading and compression and C-strokes. Just checking this area to feel to see if she's as reactive before as she was before. Which I'm pressing harder now than I was to start, and she's not trying to bite me anymore. Deep breaths. These are compression strokes. I'm using the palm of my hand to really press down. I'm just going to recheck this area now. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the petrissage strokes on her left side. I'm just starting with effleurage again. I'm gonna tap her triceps and her brachiocephalic muscle. So she doesn't mind me being in here anymore. Pectorals. This is the same exact spot that she was sensitive to on the other side. This side seems worse. Yeah, I'm gonna try effleurage strokes in this area again to see if she tries to bite me. A little bit better. I'm gonna see if I can try with some C strokes. This area to loosen up. back to C strokes for her pectoral muscles. Strokes. Check her girth area with the effleurage first. And I'm going to do some very light C strokes in her girth area. And her deep pectoral muscles down here. Taking very, very deep breaths. I'm doing some light compression strokes with my palm of my hand. Just taking very deep breaths now. Do some compression on her triceps. Here's a release, a small one. Oh, maybe not. Bigger release. Effleurage to drain the area. The release there, starting to relax and not bite me anymore. Okay, I'm gonna finish her massage with some stretches and then I'll walk her out. So I'm gonna start with this stretch with her neck first. She really wants the treat. It's better on this side. She's able to reach back further. She's still reaching. And I didn't work on her neck, I just worked on her shoulders. Oh, there goes Spirit in the background. Let me do the other side. Square first. Oh yeah, she can reach way better now on that side. Do this side one more time. Now that she probably understands what I'm asking. Still not as good as the other side, but it's better than it was before. And I'm gonna ask her to stretch down. Good girl, don't fall over. Okay. Good girl. You can pause it, I gotta get more stretch. Good girl. Ask her to stretch up. Pause it now. Ready? Okay, so now I'm going to do the some shoulder stretches and then the Hyman stretch. So I'm going to start with extension. I'm not pulling on her too hard, I'm just waiting for her to kind of come to me. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing in the hind end. Hopefully she doesn't try to kick me. So, if she does, we'll see. I'm gonna start by trying to bring it forward. I'm just gonna let her go if she tries to kick. I'm not pulling her too hard. I don't think she's ever done this before. So I'm just gonna stop right here because this is where I actually have to pull her pretty hard to get it to come forward. I'm gonna see if she'll let me pull it back. Oh, there she goes. She's been wanting to stand here the whole time, so I'm just gonna let her. Maybe she'll cooperate. Am I doing the other leg? No, I was doing this leg, okay. Waiting for her to relax. Good girl. Try one more time. If she doesn't like it, I won't push it. Let's see if she picks it up first. Thank you. All right. Probably the best I'm gonna get from her. Let me do the other side. She's like, I'm done. I'm just waiting for her to calm down in general. So she doesn't do that. One more time, and if she's not happy, I'm not going to make her. Okay. I'm going to let her be done. She's not happy with me stretching her hind end. All right, you can pause it.
Coming back. Well, he is a bully. He told me pulling now was to follow me back, and it was his father, and he immediately turned and put his ears and ran back to running around. I need to piss him off one of these. I get the back and keep giving a chance to follow me. He's thinking about it. He's going, what's going to do that?
Sure. I'm gonna go side to side. You wanna get, yeah, close to me. So after rewatching those videos of her walking and trotting, I think that she looked very similar from before and after at the walk. But I actually think her shoulders at the trot and in the end videos, her shoulders had more range of motion and they looked freer. I think that it was, positive that she stopped biting me towards the end after starting with the tapping and then, doing the kneading and the C-strokes and compression. And she had releases throughout the massage. I don't know, I haven't watched the videos back of the massage, but she was taking lots of deep breaths as she started to relax and not bite me anymore. But I do think that her range of motion or her movement was better at the trot after the massage. And as far as the, her complaint of her being too fast, I do think that is mainly anxiety for her in her former training, where we don't know how she was trained. We know she was in Western and she has really good balance and she cuts hard, so we don't know if she was a barrel horse in the past. But when I took her in the ring to walk her, she was marching next to me in most of it when I started off, and then she started to relax, especially after the massage. She was able to kind of just slowly walk behind me. And the first couple of times I asked her to trot, she was, trying to get ahead of me, and she's kind of pulling on me a little bit. So I think that she has a lot of anxiety, and I think that was also evident during the massage. So I think towards the end, though, she started to relax. She still was, especially during the stretching, she wasn't comfortable and she was still fidgeting around when I started to change up what I was doing. So I think that, working with her and getting her to relax will help ease her anxiety, but not saying that the shoulder pain that she was clearly having could not be contributing to her speeding up and running away from the pain, essentially.